Happy today. I am William Brown from IamWilliamBrown.com. This is Happy Today Morning Reflections. I hope you can hear me well. I moved the mic over to the side, trying a different look for this conversation. So, yeah. Still kind of, I'm gonna say still kind of waking up because I'm up. So, how are you doing this morning? I will pick my cards. I am complete. I am complete. You are worthy. Thank you. And there is no one newer than you. I have some. Thank you. I have some. So yeah, the concern from the other room of my tissues. I have tissues. So yeah, it's this has been it's like an incredible week for me. I don't know. That's the I guess that's the word that that came up. And so how am I doing today? Can I embrace the fact that I am complete? Yes, I can embrace that. That I am worthy. Yes, I can go with that. And there's no one newer than you. The question, after that, now that I can embrace it, how do I see that showing up for me today? How does someone that is complete show up? I had a conversation with a potential client yesterday that is that's in a startup phase of being an entrepreneur. And, I asked him to try on that he is whole and complete. And at the same time, he is currently aware that that there's a part of his completeness that he is not aware of. So how do you show up that way? How do you stay in motion? How do you stay in action with that understanding or with that awareness? And his response was, I'll take that on. I will take that on. So, yeah. So I think there is some actions, as I say, that there is some, in the be, do, have, there is, once you have this awareness of your being, how you're being, then there is a doing to your being that will cause you to have what you want to have. When we don't have connection to our being in our doing, then we have things that have no connection to us. And so that's how we are unfulfilled. That's how we are. That's how we don't, that's when we don't have fulfillment in what we're doing. I've been working on, something that I'm going to get out today. I just said it. I felt that I'm going to get out today. I am going to finish it. I am going to work on it. I am going to complete it, and it'll be out in the world. However it shows up. Um, and yeah, the um, yeah, so I'm excited about it. So it's going to have it just in time for um, Black Friday sales and all that other kind of stuff. I just got an idea of how to market it. So I want to capture that so I don't lose it. Let's start off. Yes. So yeah. So I'm excited about that. And I finished. Today is the celebration. It's like the observance. It's kind of like, there's a lot of times or celebrations that we have that it's the actual birthday is this day, right? But we observe his birthday or their celebration on another day. So today, I am acknowledging 200 episodes of One Word Conversation. But the reality is that it happened last week. It happened last week, with little fanfare. And I think the lesson for it, for me, was, or is, because it is currently, that it's not about the numbers. It's about the conversation. It's about my desire to have these relationships, have these conversations, and go from there. I'm reminded of a dear friend that passed away this summer. One way that I'm reminded of a person that he connected me with is going to be on the show tomorrow. And at first I was disappointed that he wasn't able to see that connection that he made. But then I was like, yeah, he's still making connections beyond our time together. So yeah. So I'm excited. I'm excited about that. And we're gonna tomorrow. Our conversation is something. I was about to announce what our conversation is tomorrow, and I haven't announced what the actual word of the day is. The word today on One Word Conversations is sobriety. Sobriety. Most of the times when that word shows up, it's talking about alcohol, abstaining from alcohol or a substance. But how it's been coming up for me is clearness in mind, clearness in thought, a sober reality of things. I'll bring up on the show, if there's ever a time that we should have a collective sobriety, it is now. That's, there is so many things that need our clear mind and clear thought. So we're going to have that conversation with Tuyani, my sister Tuyani. it's really weird. I haven't shared this publicly or anything, but she like shows up really as like a daughter, right? It's like a cool daughter. I have like cool daughters, and Super Tugani shows up as that. Um, um, it's like um, her connection to our ancestors, and at the same time, her connection to um, our culture is fascinating for me, because I don't know if you remember a guest that I had in the summer, late summer. I think it was on Community. Um, but her, yes, and I have a cool son. I'm sorry. Yes, I have a cool son also. Um, but Elizabeth Foggy, she has that same vibe, you know, connected to the ancestors, connected to our ancestors, and also connected to the culture. Um, there's that. So I'm looking forward to that conversation, and oh, you're going to love her, because she's going to show up. It's one of those conversations that it'll be interesting what the intentions are for the conversation, but um, um, it's like there's a part of me that feels like I'm introducing you to Yaney, but most of my audience, already know Tuyani. Um, so, so yeah, so it's we're just gonna have a party with that. So yeah, so the word is sobriety for today, and so where does sobriety come in with? I am complete and I am worthy. Um, you are worthy, and there's no one newer than you. Yeah, there's that. So I love my mug, and I think the one thing, when I have this, you can see me and not hiding behind not hiding, but behind the microphone, so I look like a podcaster or anything like that. Um, you can see what I'm drinking and the message that I give to myself. I have another one that says, I think it's "Get Shit Done" or something like that. I think that's another mug that I'm going to do. So yeah, I'm really excited about that. Really excited about this conversation today. How am I feeling? I am doing well. It's like all things considered. Usually when I say things like all things considered, um, I'm doing well. There's a list of all the things that are not working, right? All the things that I'm not happy with, but that's just not the case. There's an awareness of all the things that are not um, working. I just realized I don't have my headphones in. I don't need my headphones in, but I don't want you to hear those noises because it's close to the mic. Um, but all things considered, all the things that I consider, I'm having a great morning. I am so grateful of my life. You know, I have a wife that loves me. I mean, uh, I've mentioned before that there was some trauma in my marriage a number of years ago. Seems like forever ago, but there's as trauma shows up, um, there are reminders of that, and it's like what we do when we are reminded of the trauma lets us know how far away or how much of that trauma we have access to. Good morning. But during that time, I remember, just saying, I want my wife to adore me. I want a wife that adores me. That was my prayer. That was my goal, because I didn't believe I had that at that moment. And I definitely feel that now. And so that's a great place to be. And there's a great level of gratitude because of that. Yeah, I feel you, Melissa. I feel you. There is that moment in our vows that I had to get flat on. That how we say that, in sickness and in health and all those things, and I forget some of them, the words that are not coming up for me right now. But most of the my understanding of those vows were me saying that there were things that would come up in my marriage. There were things outside of my marriage that that we would fight together, and to go through, things where the traumas or the things that that you would have to fight against were things that were happening inside your marriage. It was a very grown-up way of looking at, how you're going to be there, and so yeah. So I'm just so grateful for that. Sometimes when when I do a meditation, I look for things that I'm grateful for, and some you just say knee-jerk reaction. I'm thankful for my family. I'm grateful for this. I'm grateful for that. But to really sit with that and really see those moments where you're grateful for it all, the laughter and the pain, because it really do that. I really, if you didn't have an opportunity to watch or listen to my conversation yesterday on values, it was a good one. I really appreciate it. I really, it was valuable to me. The conversation that came up was our values help us define our boundaries. Interesting, very interesting way of looking at it. So yeah. And the other thing that came up within the conversation that I'm inviting you to listen to is that our values, I guess, change over time, over the years. Yeah, today the word is sobriety with Tuyani. So yeah, in celebration of over 200 episodes, we're going to get sober, a sober reality. So I kind of spoke this episode into existence. I spoke about it when the word came up for me. I think on this show, I was like, yeah, I want to have a conversation on sobriety. And immediately I thought of Tuyani. And it was, I'm not making fun of her, but anything. But her initial response was, "What?" It's like when you think of our language, right? All of the words, all of the lovely words that there are available, and all of the words for us to, admire and unpack and kind of see why did I pick that word for them? Why is that the word to have the conversation around? And so, yeah. So I am so honored. I am so excited. It's sometimes I don't like to get too excited about a conversation, because then there is this um, there's something that I expect to happen. But the one thing about one word conversations that show is, even when I'm excited about something, even when there's like this, like, oh yeah, this is going to be a great conversation, um, it far exceeds that expectation. So there's so much more happens when we're willing to be within the conversation. When we're in the conversation, then it's like the gift keeps on giving. So having the expectation, um, having the expectation, and then being so excited and being within the conversation, then you can enjoy it, then you can appreciate it. The Yeah, I start next week. I am It's going to be an interesting week, because there's a holiday week. Because I've been going back and forth about how often, you know, how what happens when I'm not live, and what happens if I'm going to do a show at all. And so I have decided to, on Facebook, not do a show on Thanksgiving. I might pop up live, on my feed, or maybe even just on the different places that I'm. It's not like I'm contractually obligated to do a show at 11 a.m. on weekdays, but yeah. So I'm going to, make the announcement that I'm not going to do a show on Thanksgiving, and to enjoy your family, and to have that time for yourself. I might do this show. Yeah, I'll do this show. It'll be early enough, so I'll do that. But usually around 11 o'clock, people are probably having their first meal of the day on Thanksgiving. So that's I don't want to get in the way of that. But the one thing that I am considering doing, and that I will do, because I'm looking to really grow my YouTube channel, is that have the day full of rebroadcasts. And so I will list off all of the shows that will be broadcasting throughout the day. So what I was thinking about doing is that, kind of turn my channel into a station for the day, that if you go to Disconnect to Connect YouTube channel, there is there will there will be episodes playing throughout the day. There will be words, and so I'm putting together a marketing piece. So we'll let you know all the shows and what time that they're going to be showing, and do that. So I'm looking forward to that, to see how that goes. I want to do more of that, because look, there's over 200 episodes there, and just kind of do it. And I might go until like 7 a.m. I realize that there's so many shows. There's so many times that I am like on throughout the week, that, like I said, I have a little network of my own. But yeah, Disconnect to Connect Conversations is on YouTube. So yeah, so I'm going to put together some shows. I'm going to pick some words, and rebroadcast them. and do that. So that'll be fun. Uh, so yeah, um, I am complete. I am worthy, and there's no one you're than you. This is the moment where it brings me to the prayer for today. Um, so as this day continues, it is my prayer that we embrace our completeness with a recognition that there are currently places of our completeness that we are not yet aware of. But it doesn't mean that we're missing anything. We're just not yet aware of that. And that we're worthy, and our worthiness has nothing to do with our doing. We're worthy because we exist. Um, uh, and that there's no one newer than you. And how that shows up for you today. Discover ways for that to show up for you today. Because, the world wants you, right? The world needs you. The world has been waiting for you. Um, yeah. And so I embrace your awareness of sobriety with a clear mind and a clear heart, that you show up not just for yourself, but within your work, and for the people, around you. So with the awareness of my disappointments and my um, fears of my past, and my anxiety of my hope of my future, I become present that today is a happy today. It is my prayer for you that you have a happy today. Blessings, my friend. See you at 11 as we celebrate sobriety with Tuyani, my soul sister. Yeah, it's going to be fun.